to you. Call my name, I'll be coming for you. Coming for you. For you. Oh, she love it when I come. Oh, yeah. Oh, but you be running. Oh, you keep me coming for you. I'm going under, and this time I feel there's no one to save me. This all or nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. I need somebody to hear, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numb all the pain. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, but you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. I'm going under, and this time I feel there's no one to turn to. This all or nothing way of loving got me sleeping without you. I need somebody to know, somebody to heal, somebody to have. Just don't know how it feels. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you help me escape. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, but you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. And I tend to close my eyes, but it hurts sometimes. I fall into your arms, I feel safe in your sound till you come back around. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, but you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, but you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love.
Hello, good morning everyone. How are you? We are about to start. While I think we will start in the next 2 or 3 minutes while we are waiting for few others to join. Dr. Anam, how are you, Pak?
Good.
I'm
fine, thank you.
Yes, I can hear your voice clearly. Can you try to share screen, Pak? Just to make sure.
Wait, what? Start screen? Okay, wait a second. Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, like this?
Yes, we can see your share screen.
Yep.
Okay, we will start in 2 or 3 minutes, Pak.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. For others, thank you for joining. Wait a sec. We will start in 2 or 3 minutes time. Good. Okay. Once again, good morning, everyone. How are you? Hope all of you are healthy. Multicultural and healthy greetings from the University of Surabaya. A very warm welcome to all of you from UTAR, University Tunku Abdul Rahman, and also from UBAYA, Universitas Surabaya. Today's session is very special because this is the first webinar between UBAYA and University Tunku Abdul Rahman. And that's why today we have two participants from two countries, from Malaysia and Indonesia, from UTAR and UBAYA. And I believe that there will be another second, third, fourth, and so on for the webinar between UBAYA and UTAR. Not to forget, also welcome to my colleagues, UBAYA lecturers from Faculty of Business and Economics. Also welcome to UTAR lecturers who have made this first webinar possible. Today, we are honored to have a remarkable speaker who will talk about the impacts of low financial literacy in financial technology growth in Asia. The remarkable speaker is Dr. Putu Anom Mahadwartha, who is not only Dean of the UBAYA Faculty of Business and Economics, but also a practitioner in financial literacy. How are you, Dr. Anom?
Fine, thank you, Mr.
Hope you
Adi.
are always
Thank you very much.
healthy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hope you are always healthy, Pak.
Yeah, of course.
Before
Thank
I
you.
continue, please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Aditya Jakusuma. I'm the UBAYA Faculty of Business lecturer who will be the moderator for the next 90 minutes of this webinar. Today's topic is very interesting because Dr. Anom will talk about the impact between financial literacy and the fintech growth, especially in Asia or in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia. According to S&P Global Financial Literacy Survey, financial literacy rate in Southeast Asia is still low on average, except for Singapore and Myanmar that score 59% of their population are financially literated, and 52% for Myanmar are financially literated. Other Southeast Asian countries score an average of 30% only, where our countries, Malaysia, comes the third. It scored 36%, meaning that only 36% of the adult population in Malaysia are financially literated. While Indonesia, the financially literacy rate is only 32. While, just for your information, the lowest is still Cambodia with only 18% of the adult population are financially literated. So, of course, we are curious and want to know of how the low financial literacy rate will impact on the fintech growth in Asia or Southeast Asia. The webinar itself will take place for 90 minutes, where Dr. Anom will talk about 45 or 60 minutes, and then we will continue with the question and answer. And during the question and answer, you can raise your hand or raise hand, and then directly ask questions, where I will give 2 questions for a turn to ask, or you can also type on the chat section of your questions. Before I give the time to Dr. Anom, please allow me to inform you his remarkable resume. Dr. Anom was born in December 1973 in Gianyar, Bali. He is married with 2 daughters. He completed his doctorate in 2004, specializing in corporate finance and investment, and also received certification for security analyst. He began his career at the UBAYA, served as in 2005, served as chair of Financial Management Lab and chair of the Master of Management Study Program, or in Indonesia is called MBA program. And he currently serves as Dean of Faculty of Business and Economics of UBAYA. Apart from being an academic and researcher, he is also a professional business trainer and business consultant who assists multinational and national companies, public and private, in the process of mergers, acquisitions, business decisions, investment, and business development. He is active in management and professional business organization, a reviewer of several scientific journals, and he has published many scientific papers in many national and international journals. He is very active in social media. If you wanna add him, please do so. He has a total gram of @anomania as his Instagram account, and the Anomania as his YouTube account. And he is very active to share his knowledge and business practices experience. Without further ado, I now welcome Dr. Anom. Please, Pak Anom. You can
Thank
start.
you.
Thank you, Pak.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Adi. Good morning, everybody. Good morning from Indonesia, from Surabaya, from University of Surabaya, Faculty of Business and Economics. My name is Anom, as mentioned earlier by Pak Adi, that today we are going to discuss about the financial literacy and their impact on the fintech growth. So we have 2 problems here that we will discuss. As already mentioned by Mr. Adi, the law of financial literacy and also the fintech's evolution. Evolution, we call them evolution. Yeah, we can call them revolution, evolution, whatever. But the basic point is how these fintechs will, let's say, try to engage in all of business practices in Indonesia and also in Asia, especially Southeast Asia. Okay, so there will be a question and answer after my presentation, and I welcome you to let's say if you have any question, please. And I will share my PowerPoint, my slide here. Okay. I will use also several tools like my drawing pad here to, let's say, just to make sure that you understand what we are talking about. This is my name.
You can see your share screen, Pak, clearly.
Not yet? You not see it?
Yes, we can see. We can see.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now today we are discussing this one. This is the issues, low financial literacy, the fintech roots. Several of our students, especially also my students, researched this in their final thesis, and then they found something that quite amazing for the undergraduate students, and also combined with all the research that already did by the scientific and also the practitioners, then we can see this with what we are going to discuss. You can call me Anom. This is my IG, as mentioned by Mr. Adi. I also have @anomania. That's the IG that usually I will share that's a tutogram Okay, I discuss several things, and also I have a YouTube, the Anomania, that's also discuss several things about businesses, as usually in Bahasa. Okay, now let's move on to the next. Okay, now what is financial literacy? This is the basic point. We call them as what is financial literacy? This is the ability to understand and effectively use various what we call as financial skills. Financial skills means that you can manage your personal finance. You can do simple, very simple budgeting models, and you can invest. Okay. Basically, this is a very consecutive rules. First, you know how to manage yourself using financial planners. Okay, you know how to do a personal budgeting process. That's the second one. And then you know how to invest if you have enough money to invest. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now, according to CCU.com, the financial literacy website, they have like 8 categorized the what is financial literacy. The very first things is about this is calculate income. Okay, how you can calculate your income. Okay, of course, not just income from your paycheck, the monthly paycheck from your firms if you do a professional work, or your income from your stores or from your entrepreneurial activities, but all the incomes that you will accept as a monthly basis rules usually. And then you can do the budget. Okay, you know how to do the budget. I make one, here is one, number 2, and number 2 is the same as this. So this is usually it's 1, 2 budgeting, 3 investing. Now stick to a budget. Stick to the budget means that you have an ability to let's say have an obedience to comply with your own budget. That's what we mean. And then account for where money goes. So where the money goes, that's called personal finance management. This is also one. This is the skill. If you have skills, one skill, first skill is personal financial management. Second skill is budgeting. Third skill is investing. So I divide this from consolidated CCU. The skills, the 3 skills that you need to learn. Prioritize savings is also number 1. Okay, you know how to prioritize your saving, what you do, what is the saving for. Okay, that's a personal financial management skills. Understanding your credit card. This is also 1 and 2. Okay, also the budgeting, because you have to have money also to use your credit cards, right? Even though you not as explicitly needs money to swap your credit cards, but eventually you will have to need money because you have to pay it. And protect your identity. This is the first and the third, because investing needs you to protect your identity. Credit scores, it's about 1 and 2 and 3, because credit scores is very, very important for you as individuals. If you want to know if you have enough money, let's say if you have enough revenue to do to apply for credits to banks, or to apply for credits to your mortgage, your housing, apply, let's say, credits for your other things to do. So credit score is very important. And then save for retirement. This is absolutely discussed about the number 3, investment, because with investment you can save for retirement. Oh, I forgot one thing. This is also number 1, the Just set and stick to a budget, not just budgeting, just not discuss about you comply with your own budget, but also discuss about how you will comply it, how you will use it. That's a personal finance management. So here you go. You have this one here. Here you have 1, and the skill for stick to budget 1 and 2. Where the money goes, approximately 1, and then prioritize and saving 1. Understanding credit cards 1 and 2, and protect your identity 1 and 3rd. First and third, and then the learn your credit course is all of this. Save for retirement. Okay. Now with financial literacy, this is the basic point. So the very common basic point that you have to understand, not just you as a person who want to learn, who learns academically, learns finance like myself, learns financial management, corporate finance, or learns about investment, not just that, but all of the person, all of the people that have income, that can, let's say, provide themselves by their own effort to have money or revenue in the future. So this is for all of persons. So financial literacy is very, very common and very unique because it's involved everyone, not just me as an academician or practitioners in finance. Okay. Okay, and then we move on to the next. If I talk too fast, let me know, okay? Because finance persons usually speak fast, especially if you are doing your you're doing your investment in a capital market. So time flew and your money will flew as well because we have to take a fast action. So let's move on to the next. This is the, oh, I'm sorry, I have to clear this first. Let's first go here and then I save it and then I clear it and then we move on. So, yep, okay. Now this is the competencies of financial literacy. So first of all, I will discuss about this and then we will move on to the fintechs and then we will combine it together. Okay. Now, this the thing about competencies of financial literacy, we have 5 of them. First, you have to earn earnings. Okay, of course, you have to earn this one. You have to earn something. You have to earn. You have to make money. Okay, that's revenue basically. And then you know how to do your saving. So in financial literacy part, the second thing that important is you know how to invest or saving. So spend later, saving first. That's the rules. The basic rules is like that. So you can spend your money. This is the second thing to do. And you save first, save or invest. Basic rules in personal finance. If you have 100, no matter what is your currency, then you save first, you save. And let's say you save 20, and then only spend, let's say 80. So you save first, and then you spend later. That's why it's 1 and 2 and 3. spending. So there is no the important things about this is for spendings. It's a very funny to understand that you should have competencies in spending. Okay, so why is that? Because spending usually very fun, especially if you are going to do, let's say, a midnight sales or something like you. There's a flash sales or something, then you can spend a lot of your money. You're happy with that, and absolutely people will think that, oh, you don't have any, you don't need the competencies to spending your money. But for me or for all persons that doing financial literacy research, they will say, oh, you need, absolutely, you need core competence to spend your money. Okay, because this is the very dangerous part that you need to know. That's why, as you know, that Southeast Asian countries, majority of Southeast Asian countries, like say for me, Indonesia, between 65% to 80% of their economic growth is based on consumption. Based on consumption means you consume, you spend money. Government needs you to spend money because that means economic growth. Okay, so that is spending means for economics, for economy. So the point is, for the Southeast Asia, if the people don't spend money, the economy is not growing. Okay, so you need to spend. You need to spend, but slow down. Okay, we are discussing this later on because we are doing this as a core competence. That's why this is the basic rules. You have spend later and save first. And then discussing about borrowing. This is the fourth is quite important for the fintech industries in Southeast Asia. I will discuss later on, but for the clue is every fintech. So let's say majority of the fintech industries in Indonesia and also in Asia, in Malaysia, in Indochina Peninsula, and let's say Philippines and so on, always move the first line using what we call as a peer-to-peer lending. So they will spend money, give you money, and then they lend you money. They don't give you money, sorry. They lend you money. So you as a borrower take that money and then you spend it. So that's the basic rule, peer-to-peer lending. So borrowing is part of this core competence for financial literacy, because you need to know how you spend your money, how you borrow other part of your spending using someone else's money. Okay, so you're using someone else's money on your spending. Be careful with this. Be careful with this. This is the crucial part in the financial literacy and also in the development of the fintechs. Okay, so how you make other people to borrow you money and use their money on your spending. Okay. The fifth is protecting. This is discussing about insurance, discussing about how you protect your personal life, your health, your wealth. Okay, using your income, using earnings. That's what we discuss here. But for every part of this Asian country and Asian country and ASEAN countries, every countries already have what we call as national protecting like agency. But in Indonesia, we have the health agency, of government health agency. We have a worker agency that discuss and protect their pension. Every countries, majority of every countries in Asian and Asia already have this part of agency, of government agency to do so, but under development and also already developed but not yet maximize their ability to protect. That's the problem. So because they have a lack of protection, that's what the part of the financial technology goes to. So they will go there, they will try to give you like say services that you can add in your protection scheme, and the fintechs will do the same thing. Okay, Pak Adi, please tell me if the time is maybe less. 5
No
minutes or
problem.
10 minutes.
Still
Okay.
far, Pak. Okay, I will do it.
Okay. Thank you. Now let's move on next. Now, okay, this is the challenges because I discussed the challenges here because it's part of the fintechs also. So we have financial literacy challenges, lack of financial knowledge. This is part of the way of life for any Asian, I guess. So as also mentioned, I will give you the data. This is from SHS conference. There's a conference and there's a research paper about that. This is the link. Lack of financial knowledge. Okay, because people usually think financial knowledge always involve mathematical equation or something like that. So that's basically 60% true. Yeah, yeah, of course we in finance always have mathematics in our mind, of course, in our theories, in our research. But for common persons, financial knowledge is not just that. It's about how you make your financially, how you make your common sense, financially sense. That's the term that I usually use. Financially sense. Not just using a common sense, but common sense with the financially senses. So you know that you will, let's say you as a student, undergraduate students will eventually will work, will do the entrepreneurial skills. Let's say you will work in the companies as a professional life. You will work by yourself as entrepreneurs. This is what come handy. Okay, the financial knowledge will come handy because if you have money, you need to save it. You need to spend it. You need to control your spending. You need to borrow money to boosting up your wealth. So everybody will need the financial knowledge. So that's why you have to come up with what we call as a financially senses. Okay. Now the other part, what we call as overconfidence about financial knowledge, this is a different thing. So also there is a person that are very confident about their financial knowledge. The example is if you have your, let's say, a lot of fraud, you know, the financial fraud, okay, the financial fraud that happen in, especially in Indonesia, usually targeted people with money, okay, a lot of money, and have a lack of financial knowledge. They don't know how to invest. That's the first thing. But the second target is the persons that very confident with their financial knowledge, even though they don't have any knowledge like formal knowledge in finance. Don't take me wrong, but overconfidence is not good. That makes you reckless, makes you careless, makes you don't have any clue what you are talking about. So this is a very, let's say it's very dangerous behaviors that will lead to what we call as financial fraud. Because if you very confidence, overconfidence, then they will easily use you as a target to financial fraud. We have several financial fraud cases in Indonesia, especially that I know, that also target people with money but have a very overconfidence with the financial knowledge. That's very common. Now the third is about over-deterrence. What is over-deterrence? This is discussing about that common people will see that financial industries is a very sophisticated world, sophisticated world, sophisticated people, sophisticated assets, and they really say it's a wow effect. What we call in the behavior as a wow effect. Effect that people say, whoa, your financial corporate finance makes me like, whoa. It's very simple knowledge. Everyone should know it. But with the wow effect, people usually, common persons usually will say, let's say, will say yes to what me or a persons in the financial industry say, because they don't know anything about we say. They just want to say, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But they doesn't know what is that. That's called over that runs, the wow effect. This is also happen in Asia. Okay, we all in Asia involved in this, so there's a wow effect. So you say whoa, whoa, like that. Okay, that's good. That's good. If you say that's good, if you say yes for their information, they will say they will, yeah, they will give you you will give them a good impression, and then they will try to, let's say, one of the problem of the financial fraud. Now, this is the fourth that I have here is the governments, and also the red line here that I use, university initiative. So the problem is, and later on in the second after this, the PowerPoint, they have questionnaires about that. Universities initiative and government initiative. So a lack of government initiative to, let's say, discussing about financial literacy. Me, I'm trying to, let's say, for me as a lecturers, I need more people that know financial knowledge to share their knowledge. That's why I have a YouTube channels. That's why I have a podcast. I also have a IG that discuss that. But the problem is that not everyone doing it. So, so government initiative is lack, and universities initiative. We understand that we in the universities have many major, and also you have in the faculty of business and economics, we have management divided into marketing, operation management, and then we have human resources and finance. Only one is finance there, okay. And then in accounting, we have accounting, finance accounting, management accounting, and taxes. And also in economics, we have international business, okay, and financial institution. So only financial institution in and accounting, and also in finance, like in management, that discuss this kind of terms about financial knowledge, but not all. So our problems is the same. We have lack of universities initiatives. That's why I encourage lecturers everywhere that understand finance to share their knowledge and discuss, and also open discussion in their social media, in their channels, to discuss about financial knowledge if you're concerned about this. And then the fourth is about the fifth. The fifth is about way to teach. This is way when we as lecturers, how we teach financial literacy skills to our students using an interesting or fascinating ways. How we do it, that's what we need to know. But that's what we as lecturers, this is for us as lecturers to challenge ourselves to give more interesting and fascinating ways to teach in financial literacy, because now we need more more ways to do it as a Gen Z, okay, as a Gen Z way, you know, because our students is a Gen Z. And also the sixth is about challenges in framework and regulation. This is also involved the government side. And seventh, lack of life cycle planning. So usually because our Asian governments usually focus on consumption of their people, of their citizens, and consumption is very short life cycles. Because you consume, you will buy asset will have an economic life, and then they will depreciate. So more consumptions assets, consumable assets will have lack of life cycle plannings because it's shorter and shorter. So that's the problem. You have a very short life cycles planning. And then you will forget about the third, about financial literacy, which is investing. So lack of life cycles planning will lead to lack of investment. Okay. For Indonesia's point of view, now we have about 3 million investors. 3 million investors that increase dramatically since 2015. Before that, we only have about less than 1 million investors. So this is a good part. The good part for us in Indonesia, more and more people try to understand investment, try to make money using investment, using capital market and other part of this investment, let's say securities investment like money market, and also in a option or futures trading. So this is a good part, but still we have lack of life cycles. Why? Because 3 million investors in Indonesia is not enough. 220 million. We in Indonesia, we have 220 more millions people. Only 3 million is investors in our capital market. Only 3 million. So that's way below. Okay, 1%. Okay, more than 1%. Relief, but not relief at all for me. Should be more than 10% or 20%. So we need about more than 40 or 50 million Indonesian citizens doing their investments in our capital market. That will make our capital market stronger. So that's the problem: lack of financial life cycle planning. Okay, Dave, and then clear. Okay, let's move on. Now, this is what I mentioned earlier. Do universities and schools provide enough skills and knowledge to take wise financial decisions? Surprisingly, 92% say no. This is the research they're doing at conference articles for the conference of Michelle and Abu Sefa in 2016. Hopefully now in 2021, hopefully this is will increase. I'll try to make a questionnaires for this, but it's for small and medium enterprises. Later on, we're launching on June 19, because I have other, let's say, what we call as, if a lawyer have a pro bono, me as a lecturer, we also have something like pro bono. Okay, so like something that discussing something that needs to be an issues or major topics in financial literacy. So yeah, then 92% say no. In universities and schools provide enough skill? No, they don't provide enough skills. And should school and universities teach personal finance? Yes, of course, they have to teach. 98% say we have to teach the personal finance. We have to teach them. So that's why we UBAYAs in Faculty of Business and Economics, we have certified for personal finance for our students because we need to teach them. But usually that's for financial major. So for financial measures that only part about, let's say we have less than 20% of our students in one intake is a finance. So 20% learn about personal finance. Okay, but that's not enough. You need more. Maybe you need everybody in your students. Every student should take this personal finance part. So yes, 98% say we should make this as our curriculums in our subjects, the personal finance part. Okay. Surprisingly, yeah, that's what happened. Now, this is the discussion that already mentioned by Pak Adi, Mr. Adi, about Southeast Asia financial literacy. I take it from Asia Pathways, the Asian Development Banks. Okay, they say that except for, surprisingly, Myanmar. Okay, for me, Singapore. Okay, that's they have a very sophisticated capital market. Except for Singapore and Myanmar, all Southeast Asian countries, only 30% of their adult population financially literate. Cambodia only scores 18. That far below the global average, which is 60, 60%, which is 60%. So we have only 30%. So that's what I said earlier, that if I take a very simple mathematical rules, we have, let's say, about for management only, for management department, every intake, let's say we have 250 students, and they only 40 plus doing their major in finance. Why? Maybe because finance is hard? No, of course not. Finance is not hard. It's very easy if you learn it. So that's the point here. So we have this part of the points. What we call as financial ignorance. Now, this is what happened now, the financial ignorance, because people say that finance is not for me. Okay, I let people take decision for my financial decision. That's what people usually say. I take for granted what the credit analyst or what the insurance agent say for me. If something went wrong, yeah, I will, maybe they will sue the insurance companies, or maybe they will just, let's say, yeah, that's destiny or something. So financial ignorance is happen, make a bad daily financial decision, which lead to what we call as everlasting debt. Okay, and less saving, more borrowing situation. This is what happened in Southeast Asia. And as you see, everlasting debt, less saving, more borrowing situation, that makes people want to borrow more and save less, make more debt. As I mentioned earlier, the fintechs industries in Asia, usually the first thing they do, peer-to-peer lending. Peer-to-peer lending, the same as banks, the same, a simple mechanism, not the same rules. Okay, it's different rules, but the same mechanism. You put there is a surplus people here, surplus, and then borrow to other persons that deficit. Peer-to-peer lending. Peer-to-peer lending is one of the common services for the fintechs in Asia. It's common. Why? Because we have financial ignorance. Because we have this financial ignorance that lead to the bad daily financial decision and lead to the everlasting debt and less saving, more borrowing. Okay. And I take this from the Asian development banks. Part of our global banks in Asian that usually involved in economic growth for every Asian countries. They also the same. Yeah. That's why we need peer-to-peer. That's why the fintechs use the peer-to-peer lending mechanism. Okay. Now let's move to the next. Oh, people say I already only talk about the bad news. Oh no, this is not. This is bad news, but not bad if you knew, right? Not bad if you knew. So now you know. So, now this is the Asian Pathways, Asian Development Banks about the financial literacy index. We have several countries. We have China, Hong Kong as part of China. They want to separate, I don't know why. India, Indonesia, here Indonesia, this one. And Malaysia is here. Okay. Japan is very good. This one is Japan. Okay, they good. Yeah. This is Japan. Now, if you see here, Indonesia and Malaysia is like side by side, right? like here we are side by side here, like this. In this part, we are side by side. Even here, we are side by side in this part until this one. This is the estimated. So this is the estimated. You in Malaysia, you should learn how the estimation is like this for you. Why is 2030 and 2050 you will do like this, and we are here. For me, Indonesia, I can discuss it. We have several unicorn in our economics. We have startups that become a unicorn. We have startups that merge. Okay, you know the merger between Tokopedia and Gojek, two of our unicorn, and they try to listing their stocks in New York Stock Exchange, not in our market, not in Indonesian Stock Exchange, but in New York Stock Exchange, using what we call as a special purpose acquisition corporation, SPAC. They call them as SPAC. The name of the SPAC SPAC is COVA. This is the name. This is one of the, maybe become one of the major acquisition and published listed firms for Indonesian firms in New York Stock Exchange. So in that part, a lot of persons in Indonesia very confident about this. Okay, with 3 million investors, even though we have very small investors, only 3 million. Okay, let already say to you, 3 million versus our total population at 220 plus. You see here. But you know I said there's a blessing on disguise. Why? Because the gap between rich and poor in Indonesia is, let's
10
say,
more minutes, Pak.
what, 10 more? Okay. The gap is very, very, very high. So people with money, less population, of course, with less money. So with this kind of thing, I believe that if this unicorn, or a lot of our unicorn, we go public in US, for example, we will have more financial literate knowledge and education in our countries. That's what I believe in. So maybe between this and this, you will have a major understanding that what we are doing here is, let's say, in the right track. Okay, save and then move on to the next. Now, what's going on now in the fintech revolution? So the fintech, first thing is about fintech is about they disrupt financial services. Okay, you can see that the startup fintechs in 2016 only 3.6 billion US, and now in only 3 years is escalated into 39.57 billion. It's 10 times or more, 10 times more. So artificial intelligence and machine learnings will become common for fintechs. Okay, and these machine learnings will have knowledge about how to increase, how to escalate the financial knowledge of their clients or of their target market. That's the artificial intelligence and machine learnings will do. The second part that they will do is about consolidated in their industries. So they have a lot of, now we have a lot of fintechs in our regulators, what we call as financial industries authority, and they consolidated between them using their segmented market and using their services. During 5 years, we have more fintechs that doing business using not only peer-to-peer lending, but also common for venture capital lending. And with these venture capitals, they will finance more startup. Okay, more startup will finance using this. This is what happened now. The startup funding will increase from this part 2015 to 2018 like this. It's moving forward like nothing can stop them. Okay, nothing can stop this funding. A lot of companies that owned by basically founders is the baby boomers. We in Indonesia, we have many conglomerate, like say a big firm, okay, that owned or founded by a baby boomers generation. They have money, but don't have any idea what the Gen Z did. What is the Gen Z? They don't have any idea at all. So they give the money to this venture capital, put the money here, and then the Gen Z do the startups, and then the money goes like this. That's the fintech revolution, especially in Asia. Okay, I only have 10 minutes. Okay, let's move on.
Now it's more. And now it's 5.
Now it's 5. Now challenge in AI and machine learning. So what the fintech did is very common. They have an automating engagement. Okay, the automating engagement from Buku Cash. This is Indonesian fintechs. They can increase the 5% increase in retention rates that will increase profits by up to 95%. So more ways to retain the customers rather than to grab new customers. That's what AI and machine learning did. So let us say that this machine learning is try to matrix all and using the algorithm computation to put people in, oh, this person is a financial literate like this, the index of financial literate. So they have an in-app conversion improvement engagement, what we call it. This is a Buku Kas nation. What in Malaysia, we have Boost. This is a startup fintech also. They can increase the retention rates with using a personalized campaign. We call them as a personalized campaign because they have a very personal campaigns for each person. They will increase the retention rates. And Paymaya in Philippines, they tailoring the user experience. Okay, every persons have their own experience using their apps in the iPhone or Android phone. So a lot of people, if they doing fintechs, maybe they only want to invest. So they will only click several things about the investment. So this button will take, let's say this button will glow maybe or something, because this button is very important for them. They only click the investment part of the investing. So that's the challenge of AI and machine learning did. So meanwhile, if this machine learnings and the AI successfully mapping our customers or the customers of this population in Asia, they can map the financial knowledge between persons. And the bad side is, this is the bad side for people that have lack financial knowledge. They can exploit your lack of financial knowledge for their own goods. If you ask the startup fintech, they what I said before, they will say, no, I don't do that. They will say like this. So, and then the opportunities, consolidated industries. 80% of the consumers banking, they will put their money in the, not only in the bank, but in the fintechs. They will move from, let's say, traditional bank to a fintech company, 64%, because of their personal loans and because of their personal finance, 64 and 50%. This is a lot. For traditional banking, this is a lot. But maybe the money they give is not enough, it's not much. Means that they will not move as all their money move to the fintechs. No, they will still in the traditional banking, but several part of their money will move to the fintech companies. Okay, 88% legacy banks are afraid of losing revenue to fintech company for payment. So fintech companies also involved in the payment and transfer mechanism. So 88% banks, traditional banks, will have, let's say, they will lose their revenues to the fintech companies that doing this payment, this e-wallet things, and so on. And 1/3 of the customers currently use at least one or more fintech services. Now it's 1/3. And then all of them. But just remember that this is just, let's say this is the opportunities for these fintech companies. What I say is fintechs will give you more, but also will try to exploit all of your weaknesses in the financial literacy. But that's very common, right? We as customers, we basically meant to explore it, right? Last PowerPoint is this. Remember what I said about this less saving, more borrowings part, and then everlasting debt. Every fintechs in Asia usually did this lending, peer-to-peer lending and personal finance, because the exploration of these persons that have lack of financial knowledge, they have financial ignorance, they have money. That's the rules. They have money to invest or to put in this financial in this fintechs, and then every fintech companies will try to explore these opportunities using personal finance and lending. What about other part? Other part is important, but not as important as this, as lending and personal finance. Yes, several of our Asian fintechs doing the payment and billing. That's a very, this is what we call as a side of the cookies. Yeah, it's like a side dish of the cookies, just a side dish. That's the main course, okay? And also they do the insurance and also the capital market, but the basic rules is this: personals and lending. If you as an investor, or you as undergraduate students, or us as lecturers don't have or don't do thing about this, about how to decrease the financial ignorance of Asian population, then the fintechs will have more time to explore this part of you that you have less saving, more borrowing, part of you that have everlasting debt. That's it for me. Hopefully that will give you insight for what happened in us here now in Asian, usually for financial literacy and fintechs. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Adi.
Thank you, Dr. Anom, for your inspiring information and presentation. Before I continue to the question and answer session, please allow me to greet Dr. Ang and Ms. Lasrina from University Tunku Abdul Rahman, who are very helpful and working with us to enable this or to allow this webinar possible. Thank you, Dr. Ang and Dr. Lasrina, for your present today. Okay, now I start the question and answer session by giving the participants to ask 2 questions for 1 turn. You can raise your hand or raise your hand on the Zoom. Then you can directly ask, or you can also type your questions on the chat section. Please, now I open 2 questions as the first step. For those who are from UBAYA, if you are shy of speaking English or you are shy of typing English, you can type in Indonesia and I will directly translate to English. No problem. Don't be shy to ask. While we are waiting for a 2 questions, now please allow me to ask Dr. Anom. Dr. Anom, I'm asking this because I consider which one should go first, like which one should go first between egg or chicken. Then related to your topic, which one should come first? The financial literacy that will impact on the financial technology growth, or the financial technology growth that will impact or increase the financial literacy of a country? Please, Pak. Please, Dr. Anom. What do you think?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Adi. Egg and chicken, huh? So
Egg and chicken, which one comes first?
If you ask me about egg and chicken, if literally it's egg and chicken, I really don't know the answer. but if you ask me about if what is in financial literacy or fintech's growth,
First,
the first thing is we have to decrease the financial ignorance of our Asian population. So why? Because if you still have let's say lower index of financial literacy, about 30%, which is common in the world, the index is 60% minimum. So it's far from ideals. If you have a far from ideals financial literacy index, then first things, maybe you will not support the revolution of this financial technology firm because you're afraid you don't have enough knowledge, or you think you have enough knowledge but you are too confident, means you are overconfident. For this part, the overconfident persons, they will invest, they will explorate by the fintechs industries using their machine learnings and artificial intelligence part. Because these persons, we have several cases in Indonesia. Okay, the persons that borrow more money than what he or she can give back to the financial technology firm, and they're terrorized by the debt collectors. Yeah, that's the problem. They've overconfidence, or they believe they want to explorate the money from financial technology, but usually the vice versa. You will explorate by them because they, as financial technology, they have mechanism, they have tools to try to estimate or try to predict your behaviors, or even try to predict the money that you have. And try, after they predict, these data analytic tools, or what we call now, common people say a big data, will try not only predict but also manipulate your behaviors. Okay, maybe you will have chance to buy things that you don't need because you have money, and this machine said, oh, they have money, and 60% to 80% chance if I give this campaign for him or her, they will buy these things, they will buy these services. So first thing is increase the financial literacy or decrease the financial ignorance. Try to increase our index for financial literacy to more than 60%. For, let's say, this is our duty, usually also for universities. Okay, this is also our duty to do that, to increase the financial literacy to more than 60% before 2030. So we have still about 9 years.
9 years to go.
9 years, of course. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Dr. Anom. Now we have 2 questions already. First is from Miss Christina. She asked about, does Indonesia has the opportunity to have core competency of financial literacy? How to leverage these competencies and how can we do? While I will directly continue to the second question by Jennifer Audrey. Please, Jennifer, you can directly ask Dr.
Anom. First, good day, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity, and also Dr. Anom. I would like to ask about, with the rapid growth of fintech, will it become disastrous or an advantage for financial literacy within the overall society? How so? Thank you.
Okay. So the second question was whether the financial technology is advantage or disaster. Please,
Okay.
you can answer Miss Christina
Okay,
first or
thank
Jennifer
you.
first? Up to you.
Yeah, from Mrs. Christina. So, Miss Christina, so the opportunity, yeah, we have the core competence, the core competence we already have there, but it's low. So it's low. How we leverage it? So basically, us in universities, we can give, let's say, we can add more subjects that discuss on, or part of a subjects that discuss on the financial sides of life. So common financial knowledge. We only need a common financial knowledge. You don't need to, let's say, calculate the effective rates or compounding models or whatever that simulation that what my students in finance usually did. No, the very common knowledge how to divide between a good or say a reasonable interest rates and also a reasonable offering by banks or by insurance or by fintechs. That's, for example, this just a very common rules, very common competencies that will um, complete into this 5 core competence in financial literacy about saving, investing, spending, borrowing, and so on. So we in the universities, I believe that we in the universities have a lot to do with that, and should have a programs to try to engage them with this common knowledge of financial knowledge. And for Jennifer, no, this is not a just this is fintechs or technology in finance is a good. It's a very good and promising for us usually. For me that already learned finance since undergraduates until doctoral programs, I know how difficult we are using. Let's say we are gathering data. Okay, till now we can gathering data only just with several clicks. You can using Osiris, Refinitiv. You can use other Europeans. Well, we also have a Europeans data in our schools, so we can do that in just a click. So means that technology is very good and very support our knowledge and our ability to increase the knowledge. Okay, the same as the fintechs, financial technology firms also use the same knowledge, but remember that this financial technology is also moved by the basic rules in capitalization. Means that they make profits. Okay, they have to make profits. Means they will try to elaborate and explore all the things that they can do to explore more and more opportunities in profits. That's the problems. That's the problems of today. So you as students, you as alumni, or you as professionals have also ability to define between good financial technology firms and not so good financial technology firm. You can do it. Why? That's why you need the financial literacy. That's why you need the financial knowledge. That's why you need to know how to define between an offering from financial technology that offer you higher rate than usual, or that offer you more features that looks very promising, but maybe it's not. I don't know. So you know how to divide between this financial technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anam, for your answer to both Christina and Jennifer. Now I open for the second term for another 2 questions. Perhaps from UTAR. Are there any questions? You can just directly raise hand and ask, or you can also type on the chat section. Of course, I also invite UBAYA colleagues or students to raise questions. Please, 2 more questions. Don't be shy of asking, because
Okay, there's
Oh.
one from UTAR.
Thank you, Ms. Lastrina. Can I know what is the huge factor that influences the impacts of low financial literacy in Asia?
Maybe I directly answer it. Okay.
Okay, please.
So the
Still
huge,
inviting others.
let's say, influence the impact. So
The huge factor.
yeah, this people think, usually in my point of view, okay, as lectures in financial management, usually students or persons thinks that finance is hard. Finance is very, very hard. Means that you have calculate something, you have to, let's say, simulate something, you have to analyze and so on. Yeah, that's for persons that want to learn more in deep in finance. Okay, but if you only want to know, that's just, finance is very simple. Okay, for you to know. Okay, just to know.
That's only about money, right?
Just to know, and then you will understand. Not to analyze or deeply, not to calculate something, but just to know and understand. Now that's, people usually reluctant to do it because they think finance is difficult. That's a huge factor. That's why in my slide I say that we in the universities have a duty to make this, we as a financial management lecturer have let's say an obligation to make learning finance more easy and more interesting. Just the basic finance, okay, just the basic finance. This is not comply to my students in financial management, okay, but because for my students in financial management, it's different thing to learn. They have to analyze, they have to predict, they have to forecast, they have to understand, not just understand but deeply understand. But for you, this more majority of population in Asia, how we make this. There's also the question for us in universities, how to make this finance more fun to learn. Yeah, with the simple funds, with the simple rules, with the simple explanation to learn using daily experience. You say using daily experience. A lot of persons in my IG ask me about cryptocurrency because they want to know what is cryptocurrency. I just say, oh, cryptocurrency, yeah, you make money like using kilobytes of softwares. I'm not in depth knowledge. Okay, I'm not a information technology guy. I'm a financial financial management. So, but in my point of view, I will discuss them only 3 minutes using the tutogram, and I will say, if you know a lot of finance, you will try to know how the price mechanism did, how the price mechanism in cryptocurrency running, how they run. Simply, if you don't know, don't do it. Don't do it. If you don't know how they run, how they make money, how they supply and demand do, don't do it. Simple way to know. Simple way. So you need to discuss it in a very simple way. It's a very simple way, but simple is not enough actually. But it's enough for common knowledge. Enough for common knowledge. For me, it's enough for common knowledge. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Anom. I
Okay.
see another question from William Cho, I think because he saw your presentation discussing about the regulatory and compliance as one of the issues related to the financial literacy. That's why he asked about this one. How do you see the regulatory and compliance laws among Asia countries contribute to the slowdown of the fintechs, eventually lead to the low financial literacy? What do you think?
Yeah. Okay, William Chu. So the usually in practices, fintech is a very fast moving business, fast moving industries, means that they move so fast and the regulation cannot keep up. That's why Indonesia, for example, we have a lot of persons that stuck by this financial technology, quote unquote, okay, and then they have a high debt. So why? Because our regulation is not cannot keep up with this what the financial technology did. So we will say that many people will say, oh, if there is a regulation, the regulation will try to slow down that. Okay, that's true. They will try to slow down the movement or the innovation, quote unquote, that the financial technology did. They will try to slow it down. And then after that, there will also other regulation they will try to accommodate. You cannot make two regulation in just one time. You have to make first time, you slow down the movement, you slow down the progress, because that's a lot of persons, yes, a lot of people have very bad experience with that. And then the second part is you will try to accommodate using other regulation. Now, how this contribute to the slow down in fintechs? Now, this fintechs will slow down. Okay, that's true. But as you see in the fintechs, for a lot of sub industries business in fintechs, fintechs can do capital market, they can do transfer and payment, they can try the cash flow management, they even can do the fintechs that did the point of sales for small and medium enterprises. They can do it. So that's what the slightly move toward something else. Several other sub industries, what I call, not just focus on lending, not just focus on personal finance. Try to explore more in the spending of people's, but explore more on the opportunities to doing business in other sub industries. So is it leads to low financial literacy? No, it's the low financial literacy usually will explore by this financial technology firm. As I say, this fintech industries usually involved in capitalize their equities or capitalize their growth. So yes, if you have a low financial literacy, then maybe you will explore it by them. It's not a bad thing for them because they profit oriented. It's a bad thing for you, maybe. Maybe, but the problem is it's a bad thing for the economy. Why? Because a lot of person will trap in high debt.
Everlasting debt.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Anom, for your answer. As the time is approaching, I will open one last final question from you guys. Okay. William Cho questions. Last one is from William Cho. Another question from William Cho.
Okay.
Empirical studies show a long-run relationship between fintech and the economic growth. So would not it Asia countries should invest on the fintech and contribute to the literacy? What do you think now? Whether Asian countries should invest on fintech and
yeah, yeah. There's a relationship between fintechs and economic growth because yeah, fintechs they contribute because they are financial institution. Okay? They're financial institution, but they're focusing on technology, how to capitalize their equities using technology. That's true. And should we invest or should we invest on fintechs? Yes, of course. Of course, fintechs is a good investment. Fintechs is a good investment. Governments also try to empower several domestic fintechs, national fintechs in Indonesia, as I know, and try to make them go international, like global. Okay, this is a very basic rule. So if the governments act using their regulation to accommodate the fintech industries, now part of this belongs to the effort of this institution, like educational institution like us, to increase also the financial knowledge of our students. That's what it did. So more investment in fintechs. If you still have a very low financial literacy, that's become a problem. But basically, this is like a parallel mechanism. More investment on fintechs and higher financial literacy index for us in Asia. That's why I don't believe in a, let's say, five years that we will have a 60% index. No, because Asia is very big countries, a lot of countries there, very big, very big. So we need more time. 10 years is enough, so we can increase our average will become more than 60% on below average of the world. So it's a parallel mechanism, not just one mechanism. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Anom, for your answer. Thank you, William Cho, for your 2 questions. As I mentioned, that William Cho question was the final question, then it signifies the conclusion of this question and answer. Thank you, Dr. Anom, for your answer, and also the participants for making this question and answer productive. Now, before we conclude, we will do something common of group photo. Please video on your camera and we will take a group photo and we will share it and send it through email along with the PowerPoint of Dr. Anom and also the certificate later on.
Okay.
Please video on.
Please all participants to be able to open the video.
There are 5 screens, so yeah, few minutes, no problem.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, please all participants.
Cheers. Don't forget to cheers.
1, 2, 3. Next slide. 1, 2, 3. Next slide again. Okay, I'm already done.
Okay, done all?
That's all.
Thank you, Pak Faisal. Thank you, Mr. Faisal. Okay, last but not least, as this webinar will provide you with a certificate, then in order to get the certificate, And in order to improve our webinar next time, I ask you to complete the evaluation form, which can be accessed on this link. You can see my chat room. You can see my chat room. Then you can click on it. It only takes 1 or 2 minutes to complete it. Once the completed participants, then we will send the certificate via email. Okay. And on behalf of on behalf of University of Surabaya and UTAR that organized this webinar, I also as a moderator, Aditya Jakusuma, would like to thank you for your participation and present. I would like to apologize if during this webinar I did something that uncomforted you, and I hope that this webinar would be useful to add your knowledge and insight related to the financial management. Thank you all and see you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.